What's up, everyone? It's Designs here, and today I got asked by a friend if I would make more 2D tutorials. So today I'm going to be talking about text animations. I know I've done one before, but I'm just going to go a bit more in depth in this one and kind of tell you everything. So let's just start immediately. Create a new composition, 1920 by 1080 or whatever size you prefer. Let's create a new solid. And let's make that darkish gray. Alright, so let's create our text, and I'm just gonna make it say 0. The font I'm using is Proxima Nova. If you're familiar with that font, might be in my font pack, so you can download that. You know what? I'm just gonna use Typograph Pro. That is in my font pack. I know it's in there, so you can get that one. So now that we have our basic text, we want to animate this. So we can obviously just use the normal transform tabs to transform the position or the scale, on the rotation and the opacity. But we want to go a bit more advanced. So let's say you want to animate a single letter. So let's say you want to animate only the Z. To accomplish this, you could make different layers with one letter on top of each other. Pretty much different layers for every letter. But that is way too much, and that is why we have this animate button. Using this, you can change all the parameters that are right here. You can change the fill color, the stroke width, tracking, line anchor, and all that blur. But we're going to be mostly looking at opacity and blur. So let's just get the opacity in there first. So we can change the opacity to 0. As you can see, it just changes it to 0. No single letter by single letter, so that's not what we want. So, well, let's keep it 0. Let's keep it 100 for the time being. And let's just get our range selector and see what's happening. So, as you can see, we have this red thing over here, but because our opacity is on 100, nothing will change because it will go from 100 to the original state, which is also 100. So, let's just make that 0, and as you can see right now, we have our kind of animation. Sorry, I'm a bit having a cold, but so let's just animate that, and I'm just gonna hop 20 frames forward and make it 100. So now we have this kind of basic animation. So before we want to go into anything of that, we can go into the range selector and go to advanced. And change the units to index. That doesn't really do anything at all. So let's just change that to percentage. Oh, that's just the units. So over here you can see the index is pretty much just, we have 4 characters and 4 is done pretty much, but we'll just keep it on percentage. So we can do this based on characters and characters excluding spaces. That's what I use most of the time. Words and lines. So words is pretty much just one word comes on. If you have like a whole sentence, then every word comes after each other. And lines is pretty much if you have lines that are in a vertical way, every single line comes on differently. So we don't really want to change that because we want to keep it like this. The mode you can subtract. That's gonna make it subtracted. You can intersect, and that's pretty much doing the same thing. You can just play around with this minimum and maximum. You can play around with that if you want. So, but we'll keep it on add as it's adding in. So now we can look at the smoothness. If you turn that down to 0, it's pretty much just no. Let me just try to explain this. Alright, so let's just go 1 frame back. And as you can see, kind of this, if the smoothness is 0, it kind of hops on, and if the smoothness is 100, it kind of fades in. So Depending on what look you want, you can change this. And then we have the ease high and ease low. It's pretty much an easy ease, high or low. You can change this to what you want. So it's pretty much just the easing of the keyframes. So you can change this to what fits your stuff. It's pretty much the animation speed is kind of used by this, and when the ease high is it's at 100%, I think it's gonna speed up and slow down slowly, and if the ease low is at 100, it's gonna speed up slow and kind of move on and come to a sudden stop. So then we can go to the randomized order, which we can change to, you know, on. And right now we have this kind of weird effect, random coming on. So they're randomized, and you can change the random seed over here, so which letter comes first, and you can change that over here. And that's the advanced settings pretty much. So let's go into the range selector and add a animate blur. Let's add a blur. And at the start, let's make it a real big blur, or let's just make it a bit smaller. Let's just make it like this. So now they kind of get blurred on, and I saw my friend kind of asked me how to use this, and I wasn't really sure, but this is pretty much it. But this is not really about these, because we can just delete the opacity and the blur, and go into the range selector and animate. Let's say scale. Let's make it. Oh, sorry. Let's just make that 0. And as you can see, it's kind of already animated. So all you need to do now is just select the range selector and add in something you would like. So let's say we want position, and we want it to go off screen. So you can do that, but for some reason, that's probably because it's a bit too fast, as it's, yeah, sorry, as you can see, if we increase the time span, yeah, they come on. So you might want to change this. And another cool way, what you can do is just, if we open up this, see if we still have the position in. Let's just change that back to 0. And let's go back to the start, actually. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the start, make it 0, and kind of move this over here. So now we have this kind of random effect of them coming on. So something I wanted to do is kind of make a mask and make them come on from out of nowhere, pretty much. So the best thing you can do is just creating a little mask. Oh wait, not a mask. Just create a new shape layer just by selecting nothing and grabbing your rectangle tool over here, which you can use, and then drag kind of where the text is, you can drag a figure. So let's just make this, let's just make it white for now. But you can choose whatever color, but white's pretty good. So now what we can do is, first we need to toggle switches and modes, and make sure you have this one, and pretty much the track math, and you can choose alpha math shape layer 1. So as you can see right now, it's kind of not doing what we wanted, and the shape isn't sized as well. So let's just drag this down until we can see anything. So as you can see right now, we have this text. Let's just go back into the text, I'm sorry, and change the position down a bit so it kind of fits in. And right now we have this animation where they leave it, so that's not what we want. So you can alpha inverted mapped shape layer 1. So as you can see right now, it kind of comes out of nothing and comes into this new kind of yeah, it comes in from out of nowhere pretty much. So what you want to do right now is make sure your keyframes are eased. So let's press U on the 0 layer, on the text layer, and select your keyframes, press 9. Alright, that doesn't work for some reason. Well, you can go to keyframe assistant, easy ease, and as you can see, you can press F9. So easy ease them. And then we can go into the graph editor, select our graph, go over here and select fit selection to view or fit all graphs to view. We have this thing selected, so we can use this one, but this one's pretty much the same. So now we can drag this one. Oh, I'm sorry, this one isn't constrained, so we need to select this one, press shift and drag it out, make sure it's still in the same place. So now we have a kind of smoother animation, but we want it not to start that quickly. So let's say we have this one. Alright, that's not really what we want. So let's change our view actually, so we can work more properly. So let's select edit value graph. Let's select this one and see what we have. So this animation might be a bit too quick for characters anyway, so we're gonna just drag it out a bit, and we can actually do that. Oh, I'm sorry. We can actually do that over here when we zoom out a bit, and we can just select this one and drag it out. So here we have our graphs. So pretty much how it works is you have this line, and the steeper it is, the faster the animation is going. So we want it to end really slowly and kind of start really slowly as well. And you probably, so it's starting real slow, it gets steeper, and then it slows down again. This is mostly used, but as you can see, it's kind of not looking nice at the moment. Let's just check it out. You know, it's okay. Kind of the Z comes in way too slow, so we can change this one at the end. We can change that to be going this way a bit more. So now we have a bit more even spaced out kind of thing, but we want it to actually start quick and then gradually slow down. So this is kind of the animation where I was going for, but you can change this to your preferences. And remember, you're not just limited to position. You can just select your range selector, go to animate, and let's say rotation. You can pretty much pick everyone. You can rotate it, and as you can see, it kind of goes out of my box, and so this shape layer, but we can just quickly change that by trying it over here a bit. So as you can see, the rotation is applied, and it's this easy to kind of animate text and get like a good feeling for text. And it kind of takes a while to understand the full process, but as you if you set up this range selector properly, it can help you out, and this will probably help you in future projects, because you know, 2D intros are fun, and this makes it really easy, really quick, and you know, it also looks nice. You have so much control, and yeah. So this was this tutorial for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something, and I hope to see you guys soon.